We were looking at 6 general areas. We're looking at the issue of equal pay. We were looking at the issue of sexual harassment. We were looking at childcare and dismissal practices. One of the things we noticed was in respect of equal pay, whereas there isn't a problem around equal pay for equal work, work tends to be disaggregated by gender. And so most of the women are concentrated in the lower paying sectors. And so whilst men who are doing the same work don't necessarily get paid more, but women generally have low wages because of the sector they're in. One of the other issues is the very long hours that women are working. Women are time poor. They are working as late as 10 p.m. in some of the worst instances, being at work at 7 a.m. and leaving at 10 p.m. Most of the women have to be at work by about 7. They end up leaving home at about 6 a.m., 6:30. That has implications for their children because these women are not paid well. They can't afford somebody to look after their child. A lot of them are single mothers. Majority, some 55% of the women are actually single mothers. So you then find that they're having to leave their children in what are appalling conditions. I think one of the most disturbing findings really was the circumstances in which the children are growing up in. They're cramped. You have a space that's about 8 by 8 feet, which has lots of children in it. And these are toddlers, sitting on cement. So I think this is something which we all need to take on board as a responsibility as a society. It's not just about women in this particular sector. We need to look at this as a microcosm of what's happening in our country. There was an issue around sexual harassment. We have an improvement in terms of policies, but most women are ignorant of those policies. And then also because sex is something that we don't like to talk about as a society, people are quiet about what is happening to them. We did find an improvement in terms of compliance with maternity and paternity with the legislation, because we've got the Employment Act now, which has improved things in terms of the theoretical framework, and companies are more compliant. However, there's a challenge, because what is now happening is that because women are now entitled to 3 months maternity leave, in addition to their normal benefits, which means that they can also take their annual leave, which would then amount to 4 months. You then find a situation where the employment of women has dropped from 70% to 50% because women are perceived as being more expensive to hire. Again, this is something that is a social responsibility. So I think it's not just something that we should leave to the companies. I think the government needs to step in and provide support, and we need as a society to sit down and look at how it is that we provide support for all working mothers and for all women to be able to have babies, because we all say as a nation that we want the babies, but then we act then as if the act of having babies is something which is disruptive and not beneficial to our society.